How to master the art of communication, how to talk to men effectively so that you have his undivided attention. This video is not going to be very long, so I hope, but we are going to chit chat on this video and I'm going to teach you something that's super important, especially when it comes to conflict and communication. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go right into absolutely everything because we do have the How to Talk to Men So They Listen Masterclass, which is a 2-hour recording where I go through every type of communication protocol that you need. This is such a popular course and everybody has it. So if you don't have it already, make sure that you have it in your toolkit when it comes to communicating with men effectively. Now, I will see you right off this. Hello and welcome. My name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. We help you create beautiful and healthy love lives, and we aim to reach 1 billion women. So help us out by clicking that share button, subscribing, commenting, and setting the world ablaze. If and only if you enjoy this content. Okie dokie. So moving forward, how do we communicate? Now, what has triggered this particular video was the Wades, I believe it was Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade, and the whole shenanigan on the internet about her really coming out and saying that, look, I feel like I'm carrying a gorilla on my head because everything in my family is 50-50. That really broke my heart just watching that clip, and I could see what I don't think many of us can see, how hurt Gabrielle is about that. Obviously, I'm not living in her body, so I don't really know exactly what she feels, but that was sad to hear. And I felt sad for her because I know that there is no woman that really wants to live with a gorilla on her back when she has a man who can definitely do some heavy lifting in that arena. The conversation kind of went to whether women should go 50-50. Some of us were on the right saying, hey, a man's got to pay if he earns more than you. Some were on the left saying, 50-50 means that there is some sort of equality and a man will not say things that Dwayne said to Gabrielle, such as, this is my house. And so if you want to make sure a man never says that to you, make sure that you play your part and help him with the heavy lifting. This is not what this video is going to be about because none of those things are really the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter here is so many things that we will not explore in this video, but I did want to explore the communication factor. In this moment, I can only anticipate that, like many of us in relationships, there was an altercation, a falling out, a misunderstanding, maybe an issue that had been ongoing, maybe an issue that just started, and everything was heated. And I'm sure that Dwayne must have said what he said because he said it, but I don't believe that he meant to hurt his wife or to trigger her in that way. I think that, to be honest, it was his way of trying to get some power in the relationship, and this is a lot of the power play that couples have in a relationship. I don't think that the relationship is toxic necessarily, not from what we see, but we only know the truth if we are behind closed doors. However, when I did see how the whole thing unfolded, my interpretation of all of that was they were obviously having a misunderstanding, a disagreement, a heated disagreement or whatever, but there was definitely conflict in the relationship. And Dwayne felt that the right thing to say, or the thing that he said in that moment, maybe out of emotion or maybe out of frustration, was, this is my home. Now, the way that Gabrielle reacted is really quite normal for women that are heavily kind of conscripted in terms of feminism, and really kind of I can do what you can do, and I am equal to you, and all of these things, which I am not anti-feminist, so please don't feel that I am anti-feminist, but I do understand that every movement has its extremities and can create as much damage as it can do good. And so that's why I don't really ascribe to anything with an ism or an en or whatever at the end of it, because I cannot often agree with any kind of movement wholeheartedly, because there's always going to be the light and dark. And I also suspect that there's some trauma there, and he definitely triggered some trauma. But even if there isn't, and I'm completely wrong about all of it, when a man says something like that, he is threatening the woman's safety. He is making her feel insecure, because if it is my house, then I can throw you out at any time. If it is my house, then I can control you. If it is my house, then I can abuse you. If it is my house, when a man says that, it's like taking the roof off her head. It's like taking the roof off any woman's head. In relationships, when we are like, that's mine, what we do is create a degree of insecurity. And when we feel unsafe, we go into our survival mode. We will fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn. And in this instance, Gabrielle decided that she would fight her corner. In so doing, she put a noose around her neck that now feels like she's carrying a gorilla on her back. Now, we can say what we like. We're not here to judge people's relationships. But here's what I would have said to her if I had been her coach. I would have said to her, in this instance, pause. It is so important when we're in conflict that we pause and connect with what we're feeling. If we do not have a practice where we connect with our true feelings, then we're not going to be able to call upon that skill in a heated and painful situation. Vulnerability is how you bring a giant down. It is Black Widow's ability to calm the Hulk by her ability to be so vulnerable with him that he has no choice but to pipe down. Feminine power is this ability to calm the masculine and bring him out of fight mode into protection mode. And we can do that by how we communicate. I hope that you are enjoying this video. I just want to say two things. Thank you for watching and supporting this channel. Your presence here makes a difference, and we would not be here without you. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. And for those of you who have subscribed, leave a comment and share. This helps the algorithm share the good news of the Black Swan Relationship Academy and helps us further the dream of helping 1 billion women create healthy love lives. Furthermore, you are also supporting the deserted women and children that we put through school and support every single month, alongside the families that work very hard to bring this content to you. I'm going to make you a promise. If you would subscribe, like, share, and comment, I will make sure that you get the very best teaching, training, and content on this channel that you can get anywhere in the world. Deal? Great. See you on the video. If Gabrielle had said, instead of from now on, everything in this house is 50-50, which is I'm going to stand square to square with you, shoulder to shoulder, so you can never ever make me feel insecure. If she had said something more along the lines of, you have every right to say that, think that, feel that. But when you do say that, and I feel you're saying it because you believe it, it really hurts my feelings and makes me feel truly insecure in this relationship. And if you really want to gut punch him, I would add, and it has really put a dent on my respect for you as a husband. And then I would leave that with him. I can guarantee you that I don't know Dwayne at all. And I don't know Gabrielle, and I certainly don't know the dynamics of their relationships, but what I do know is how men are wired. Any man hearing this out of his wife's mouth will pipe down or expose himself as a sociopath, psychopath, or narcissist. Because any man who does not fall into those categories will be broken in his spirit and realize that he's made the biggest mistake of his life. Because masculine men cannot endure the idea that they would create a lack of safety. One of the things that makes masculine men feel like men and powerful is that they can create safety around you. To tell a man that you do not feel safe around him and that his actions have created insecurity will undoubtedly break his pride and bring him back into his essence, where he remembers that his job is to keep you safe and secure. When you further go on and let him know that you have been hurt, he now understands that speaking to you in that way does not get him more power, does not get him more respect. It actually gets him a broken woman, a hurting woman. He begins to realize that he is weaponizing his masculine ability and power instead of using it to nourish his woman. The final point that I would only use if absolutely necessary, because this is a gut punch, is to let a man know that his behavior and his actions have reduced your respect for him in your eyes. Saying "in the eyes of my husband" also has greater weight, because this man committed to cherish you, take care of you, make sure that you're okay. This man married you, and that made you respect him. That made you see him as a man of honor, a man of integrity, a man who knew who he was. When we agree to marry a man, it is because there's a part of us that has deep respect for him, certainly if we're black swans. And when we say that this behavior is gone some way to diminishing the respect, the honor that I have for you, this again is another punch. This way of communicating is not only the biggest gut punch a feminine woman can give to a man, but the most effective way of communicating, so that we trigger his protective instinct. In this instance, they began to fight, egos got in the way, and now she's having to live out her threat. One of the things that you must understand about men is that if you challenge them, they will make you live it out. They will let you live it out to the very end. Understanding feminine power, understanding that you were born with the ability to make a giant fall by your vulnerability and your ability to show that vulnerability and explain that vulnerability. We're now having conversations about 50-50, who should pay, who shouldn't pay. Don't ever let any man say that to you. What kind of relationship is this? But we're missing the point. We're missing the point that wisdom builds a house, and a wise and a foolish woman with her own hands tears it down. Wisdom is how relationships are constructed. Those few words in that moment could have actually elevated their relationship to greater intimacy, greater trust, greater love, greater humility, and solidified their bonds more than ever before. But what that has done now is has allowed the overwhelm in Gabrielle's spirit to actually make her come out into the world and expose her husband for the provider he is not being. Her ego obviously will not let her work it out, and perhaps they've already worked it out. But the shame and embarrassment that has now come into this whole scenario, stuff that should really remain behind closed doors, has come out to the fore. We have to be super careful in relationships, and this is why it is essential that we learn to talk to men effectively, so that they listen from our feminine energy, so that it can be effective. I hope that this video has been very useful to you, and that as we all prep to be wives and girlfriends to amazing men, hopefully wives, that you have learned a little bit about how to communicate to a man effectively. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, but in the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots. Bye-bye now.
Simple steps to join Black Swan community. Download the Black Swan app from either Google Play Store or Apple Store. Launch the app and tap on register. Put in your valid information, then tap on continue. Put in the verification code sent to your email to authenticate your account. Then log into your account. Be sure to accept all permissions displayed at installation stage to enjoy all the cool features in the app. You can now enjoy a community of high-value women with support from coaches and trainers. Book calls with coaches, chat, post, and interact with the community. Enjoy!